What is going on, everyone? It's Super here and welcome to another Injustice 2 video. Now today I'm going to be uploading another one of my top 10 costume gear pieces or premiere skins for specific characters. I did the Flash yesterday, so I wanted to upload Batman today. And Batman has had, many decades and decades and decades of different iterations and different costumes and different storylines. So I have plenty to work with here. There's a lot of cool gear stuff that that I mentioned in this video. Keep in mind, this video I made it like a year ago, but I'm like uploading these again, I guess re-uploading them because they got like almost no views, and I think that a lot of these costumes would be really cool. And the reason why I say gear costumes is because these characters are not going to have 1,000 premiere skins. One, maybe two at the most, if they have like movie tie-in skins or CW shows for like Arrow, stuff like that. But most of these characters aren't even going to have or some of these characters aren't even going to have one premiere skin. So there's more of a chance that pieces of costumes appear in the gear other than having the entire costume be a premiere skin. So just wanted to let you guys know, if you do enjoy these videos, leave a like rating. It's always appreciated. But I hope you guys enjoy the costumes. If you have any of your own, make sure you guys write it down in the comment section. So that's going to be the end of today's commentary for me. I'll catch you guys next time. That Batman uses to fight versus Superman. So this one's going to be very easy. It's going to be, high defense, because you guys know the attributes of your character change depending on what gear you use. So this one's going to be obvious. Speed is going to get reduced significantly. Defense is going to go up a lot. Probably power is going to go up a lot and stuff like that. So, this one they could balance easily, and I think a lot of people would really like to see this costume in the game. So, moving on here, the same with all these, like, there's going to be a couple in here that, they could easily have, armored versions of those costumes, which I'll go over a little bit later. But, like I mentioned, Batman has armor, on a lot of his costumes, maybe variations of that specific costume. So they could like double down on these costumes, have one be like the regular costume and then have one be an armored version of that costume. So moving on here, I would really, same with Superman and Christopher Reeve, I would really like for Injustice to honor the legend Adam West and have an Adam West Batman costume for, Batman in Injustice 2. Moving on here, this is going to be the final movie version of Batman that I'd like to see, but I would really like to see the 1989 Tim Burton Batman movie suits. I think that suit is pretty solid. It looks cool, and I think it would make a cool costume for Batman in Injustice 2. So moving on here, I never played any of the Batman games. Guilty here. But the Arkham Knight Batman costume is one of the costumes that I get asked questions about a lot. So I think, the regular Arkham Knight costume and the armored version of the Arkham Knight costume will definitely look sick. And we've actually already seen a couple of costumes from Batman that are completely armored. So, I wouldn't be surprised, of course, if the Arkham Knight costume didn't make it into the game. Or I wouldn't be surprised if the Arkham Knight costume made it into the game, because, the Batman games are very, very, very popular. So, I'm pretty sure that the Arkham Knight costumes are definitely going to be in the game. But, it's still, I would love to see them. They look really sick. So, moving on here. This costume was actually in the first Injustice and is one of my favorite costumes of all time. And of course, I'm talking about the Batman Beyond costume. I think a lot of people have this as their favorite Batsuit because it just looks so fucking sick, man. It looks awesome. And of course, in one of the Batman games, there is an armored version of the Batman Beyond costume, and I think in the first ever reveal trailer for Injustice 2, Batman actually looked like he had a Batman Beyond, style of armor costume. And a lot of people, when the game came out, a lot of people thought it might be Red Hood, it might be Robin and stuff like that. But it was actually Batman with what looked like was going to be a Batman Beyond like armor type suit. So I'm pretty confident that this costume is going to be there, because this is up there as one of the most, fan favorite Batman suits. So let's see, where was I? All right, moving on here. This one was in the first Injustice as well. I think, the theme is going to stay. We already saw the Red Sun Superman costume, so I'm pretty sure that Batman and every other character that had Red Sun costume is gonna have it return in Injustice 2. So pretty sure that the Red Sun costume for Batman is gonna make a return as well. Moving on here, this one is actually a suit used in, I believe, a comic book called Noel. I saw this one in a website, and it was just called the Noel suit, and I thought this looks awesome. This costume looks really, really sick. Moving on here, the New 52 costume is a given. New 52 Batman was in the original Injustice, so it's a given that the New 52 costumes for every character is gonna be making a return here. So moving on here, the Jim Lee Batsuit. Just look at this picture right here. Look at this picture. Jim Lee, one of the greatest comic book artists of all time. And this suit is awesome, and just this is one of my favorite like screenshots and comic book screenshots of Batman ever. It just looks so fucking awesome. So I think that costume should definitely make it. Moving on here, this one is I think gonna make a lot of people happy if it actually gets into the game. And I'm talking about the Batman animated series costume, because this is where I first got introduced to Batman. I was never big into comic books as far as reading them, but when the Batman animated series came out, and it was on WB and on Channel 5 for me here in LA, I wouldn't miss it. It was my introduction to Harley Quinn. It was my introduction to the Joker, Batman, and pretty much every single Batman character, Catwoman, all that. It was my introduction to all those characters, and I would love for them to have a animated series Batsuit make it into Injustice 2. So moving on here, this is another costume that I'm not really familiar with. It's called the Greg Capullo Batsuit, and I'll put the screenshot here. I'm not familiar with it, but it does look fucking awesome. And as I'm talking, you guys see one of the gear system or gear Batman costumes. This one actually has armor, and it looks really fucking sick. So I'm sure that Batman and Superman, they were two of the characters that had the most costumes in the first Injustice, and I think it's gonna stay. They have so many years of being in comic books and having different iterations of them that I'm sure they could go just absolutely crazy with those two characters. But that Greg Capullo costume looks really cool. Moving on here, this is another costume that was in the original Injustice, and I think it's underrated. Even the way it looks in the first Injustice game, I really didn't like it too much. Maybe it's just because of the graphics. It didn't do the costume or the Batsuit justice. But I'm talking about the Flashpoint Batman costume, where he has the red eyes and stuff, and he looks like an asshole. I think that costume looks really, really good. And I think that with these updated graphics, just the way it looks in the screenshot, it looks amazing. And like I said, in the first Injustice game, I do have the suit, and I saw it, and I'm like, I don't really like it too much. Same goes for, a lot of the other, like the Godfall Superman costume. I talked about this. It looks good, but I think with these updated graphics, those like specific costumes are gonna look amazing if they do return, which I'm pretty sure the Flashpoint one and the Godfall one are probably gonna return. So moving on here, this is the last one, and I forgot what website I saw this, but this was like #1 on a lot of people's you know, websites of like favorite specific Batman suits. And this one right here is the white Power Ring Batsuit. So I guess, you know, somehow Batman gets access to a white, you know, a white lantern ring, and it, you know, having that gives, you know, changes the color of his Batsuit and gives him, you know, different powers and stuff. And he looks awesome. Like, I'm not gonna lie, he looks awesome. And of course, if they have something like this where Batman gets in contact with some sort of lantern ring, you're gonna be able to customize the colors. So he could possibly have a green suit, you know, a red suit, stuff like that. But this white one just looks awesome. So that's going to be it for my Batman costume gear system wish list. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. As always, leave your comments down below. Let me know which is your favorite one, and if I left any of them out, let me know in the comment section. So other than that, I will see you guys next time. What's going on, guys? It's Super here. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, make sure you guys subscribe or check out any of these videos linked at the top. Thank you, and I'll see you guys next time.